Following our introduction, let's embark on a historical voyage, starting with the earliest recorded naval confrontation in these waters, the Battle of Alalia. In the 6th century BCE, a pivotal clash unfolded between the Phocian Greeks and a coalition of Etruscans and Carthaginians, setting a precedent for Mediterranean maritime warfare. Gazing upon the tranquil blue waters of the Mediterranean Sea today, it is hard to imagine that these same waters were once the stage for some of history's most monumental naval battles. This sea, a cradle of civilizations, has witnessed the rise and fall of empires, all vying for dominance over its strategic expanse. The Mediterranean Sea has been a vital crossroads for trade, culture, and military campaigns throughout history. Its strategic waters connect 3 continents, serving as a maritime pathway for empire expansion, economic trade routes, and the spread of ideas, making control over the Mediterranean synonymous with power and influence. Sailing back to the 6th century BCE, the earliest recorded naval battle in the Mediterranean is the Battle of Alalia. It was a fierce confrontation at sea between the Phocians, Greek colonists, and a powerful alliance of Etruscans and Carthaginians, setting the stage for centuries of naval warfare in this pivotal region. As we navigate through the Mediterranean's historical waters, the Phoenicians emerge as master mariners. Their thalassocratic empire was built upon naval prowess, using galleys to dominate sea trade and engage in combat. Phoenician sea battles were not just about territory, but also control of lucrative maritime trade routes. Advancing from Phoenician legacy, the Greco-Persian Wars marked a critical point in naval warfare. Here, the Greeks faced a colossal Persian navy, with pivotal battles like Salamis sealing Greece's fate. These clashes weren't merely fights for control, but defining moments for Western civilization's future. In 480 BCE, a defining moment unfolded at the Battle of Salamis. The mighty Persian fleet, intent on conquering Greece, was lured into the narrow straits. There, Greek triremes, more maneuverable and tactically superior, decimated the Persians, turning the tide in the Greco-Persian Wars and preserving Greek independence. As the Roman Republic began to expand, it faced a new challenge: controlling the seas. The birth of the Roman Navy was marked by early struggles, as they had little experience in maritime warfare. Romans initially faced defeats, but their resilience would soon lead to innovations that transformed their naval capabilities. In the First Punic War, Rome and Carthage clashed over control of Sicily, sparking a series of ferocious sea battles. With new warships called quinqueremes, Rome sought to break Carthage's naval dominance. It was a grueling conflict that tested the resolve and resources of both ancient superpowers on the Mediterranean stage. The Battle of Ecnomus, a pivotal conflict of the First Punic War, showcased the immense Roman fleet of 330 ships facing off against Carthage's 350. Rome's innovative tactics involved the corvus, a boarding bridge enabling soldiers to fight on enemy decks. The resulting Roman victory significantly shifted the balance of naval power in the Mediterranean. As the Romans developed their naval capabilities, they introduced revolutionary tactics and technologies that reshaped warfare at sea. One such innovation was the corvus, a boarding device that allowed Roman soldiers to leverage their superior infantry skills by turning naval battles into hand-to-hand combat, fundamentally altering Mediterranean naval combat dynamics. In 241 BCE, the decisive Battle of the Aegates Islands unfolded, marking the end of the First Punic War. Here, the Roman navy, newly rebuilt, strategically cut off Carthaginian supply lines. In a fierce clash, Rome emerged victorious, asserting their dominance and heralding a new era of power in the Mediterranean. As the Roman Empire flourished, so did its naval might, ensuring a period known as the Pax Romana. With formidable fleets patrolling from the Pillars of Hercules to the Levant, Rome maintained control over the Mediterranean, protecting trade routes, deterring piracy, and cementing the Mare Nostrum, their sea. But the Mediterranean waters were not always calm. The Vandal kingdom, established in North Africa, began launching naval raids that threatened Rome's supremacy. This conflict culminated in the Battle of Cap Bon in 468 CE, where the Vandals decisively defeated a massive Roman invasion fleet, redefining power in the Western Mediterranean. As the Western Mediterranean churned with conflict, the Byzantine Empire sought dominance in the east. The rise of the Byzantine fleet marked an era of fortified trade and communication routes. Their ships became sentinel watchdogs over the eastern Mediterranean, a bastion against incursions and a guardian of Byzantine interests. Amidst the evolving power struggles of the Mediterranean, the Arab-Byzantine wars raged on the high seas. These confrontations showcased a dynamic shift in naval supremacy, with the emerging Arab fleets challenging Byzantine control. The ebb and flow of these battles signaled a new chapter in the Mediterranean's storied maritime history. In 655 CE, the Mediterranean saw the monumental Battle of the Masts, where the Byzantine and expanding Arab fleets clashed fiercely. The waters near Phoenicia turned into a battleground, as both sides vied for naval supremacy, marking it as one of the era's most significant maritime conflicts. As the Crusades swept across the Mediterranean, a fierce clash of civilizations ensued at sea. The naval combat of this era was brutal and decisive, epitomized by the pivotal Battle of Jaffa. Crusaders and Saracens faced off on the waves, each determined to secure their hold over the Holy Land. In 1192, the storied Battle of Jaffa became a key moment in the Third Crusade. Here, Richard the Lionheart showcased his naval prowess, defending the city against Saladin's forces. Amidst the fierce fighting at sea, Richard's strategic genius was evident, reinforcing his legendary status in the annals of the Mediterranean's martial history. Shifting our focus to the late Middle Ages reveals a gripping saga of economic supremacy. The maritime republics of Genoa and Venice, with their mighty fleets, vied for dominance over Mediterranean trade routes. It was a rivalry that saw frequent clashes, catalyzing advancements in naval architecture and maritime law. In 1298, the enduring rivalry between Genoa and Venice culminated in the fierce Battle of Curzola. Near the eponymous island, the Venetian fleet clashed steel with the formidable Genoese armada. This encounter, pivotal in maritime history, showcased the era's brutal naval tactics and the high-stakes contest for Mediterranean dominance. As we sail further into history, a new formidable power emerged on the Mediterranean's horizon: the Ottoman Empire. In the 16th century, their mighty naval force, bolstered by infamous corsairs like Barbarossa, began to dictate the ebb and flow of sea power, challenging European dominance with their advanced fleet and maritime strategy. The Battle of Preveza in 1538 marked a pivotal moment, where Admiral Hayreddin Barbarossa showcased his tactical prowess. Blockading the Gulf of Arda, he baited the Christian alliance into a trap, using the coastal winds to his advantage and securing a decisive Ottoman victory in the Mediterranean theater. As the struggle for Mediterranean dominance continued, the Siege of Malta in 1565 became a legendary conflict. The Knights of St. John, lauded for their valiant defense, withstood the might of Suleiman the Magnificent's fleet. Their resilience in face of siege reshaped power dynamics in this crucial maritime crossroads. Following the Siege of Malta, the battle lines were redrawn for what would become known as the Battle of Lepanto in 1571. This clash marked the last major engagement fought primarily with oared galleys, and it stands out as a pivotal moment that showcased the tactical evolution of naval warfare. As we sail into the 17th century, the once dominant oared galleys began to fade from the naval stage, outpaced by the evolving designs of sailing warships. These new vessels, armed with formidable broadside cannons, signaled a new era in maritime warfare, one that increasingly marginalized the galley fleets of old. With the dawn of the 17th century came a revolutionary shift in naval warfare, the rise of the mighty sailing ships of the line. These behemoths, bristling with rows of powerful cannon, demanded new tactical thinking and complex maneuvers known as the line of battle, forever altering the seascape of power. Continuing into the Napoleonic Wars, the Mediterranean again became an arena for conflict. Here, warships clashed to control trade routes and assert naval dominance. The most famous, the Battle of Trafalgar in 1805, underscored the brilliance of British naval tactics and sealed the fate of Napoleon's ambitions at sea. Next is the pivotal Battle of Navarino in 1827, a defining moment in the Greek War of Independence. A coalition of British, French, and Russian naval forces clashed with the Ottoman and Egyptian fleets. This decisive victory crippled Ottoman sea power and markedly accelerated the birth of modern Greece. As we enter the 20th century, the Mediterranean saw new turmoil with the onset of world wars. Naval engagements were pivotal, with the Battle of Taranto and the Battle of Matapan highlighting the strategic importance of this sea in controlling maritime routes and influencing the outcome of war efforts on land. These historic battles not only dictated the tides of war, but also the course of civilization, shaping the Mediterranean region's political boundaries and cultural landscapes. The sea served as a grand stage for power struggles that would leave indelible marks on the pages of history and the identities of nations. Thank you for joining us at Spectrum Sphere as we navigated through the turbulent waters of history's greatest Mediterranean naval battles. If you've enjoyed this voyage, please like, subscribe, and leave your impressions in the comments below. Stay tuned for more adventures and discoveries in our upcoming videos.